This is brilliant.
That's nice. That's nice.
Sasha?
Yeah.
What's up?
Oh gosh, I am only a slightly stressed. We are here, and I am the only one who has control over the broadcast studio right now.
Yeah. So
log in as host.
So this is what's funny. So generally, the way that the show works is that we both do the show, but we both have access to the studio portion of StreamYard. Right, we're both able to throw things in there and throw up graphics, stuff like that. But today, not the case. It's just Sasha. It's just Sasha at the helm. It's one of those moments where you realize how good you had it, you had it once.
I honestly don't know what's gonna happen, guys.
I'm
gonna try my best.
You're gonna do amazing. You're gonna do amazing.
Graphics, and it's not. I just. What's this? Oh, that's
okay. That's the picture of me.
Yeah.
In a show from.
Had I known I was the only one who's gonna have control of this, I would have uploaded a lot more embarrassing photos of you.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Because the thing is, you still could.
Yeah, well, I still could, but honestly, I might shut this whole thing down if I try to do that simultaneously, right?
Sasha, how have you been? It's been a minute since we've done this.
So long.
A long time. About I'd say about a month almost.
It's been a month. I think it's been 4 weeks. I'm 2020. I am.
You are just 2020.
I'm just 2020. I'm here. I feel a little bit like this a lot in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's like this. This am I call my name?
The difference between those two is that one you're facing ahead.
Yeah.
The other one you're facing at us. Great.
This one is I don't want to talk to anybody. I just need to cope with the world right now. This one is do you say something?
I mean, that one looks to be like, hey everybody, I'm just terrified of life and stuff as we know it. That's what that seems like.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. Like please put a boundary up. It's asking.
Speaking about this is a secure perimeter. But speaking of perimeters, like a segue I did there for us, I'm on it.
A great segue. Oh shoot. Hi, how did you do it? How did you secure your perimeter? The world is chaos. How do you maintain your boundaries against social media trolls and NYC water bug, as well as systemic racism and glaring socioeconomic inequalities exacerbated by a global pandemic? What took you by surprise this week? How did you do it?
How did you do it? That was really good.
Thank you. I mean, you're the one in control of this. You're in control of this. You have all the control. Do you want to say how you did it? I'll say how I did it, but I also want to hear how you did it.
You say how you did it. Tell me how you've been. It's been 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
How's your perimeter been?
My perimeter has been decent. It's been decent, I will say one way I've secured my perimeter has been by staying informed as much as possible. So, trying to pay attention to, again, where I'm getting my news. But if I'm, getting it from sources for whom I can just get it and not, news, not noise. Jessica Yellen is a great provider of that. NPR, great provider of that. just the facts is what I've been looking for. I also want to shout out Joe Biden's town hall from, I believe, last week. That town hall was definitely a secure perimeter. It was just so lovely to see honest answers, honest interaction with people. Did I agree with everything that he was saying? No. But he even acknowledged that, you can disagree with me, and just a call for decency. It was just a really lovely time. I did not watch Donald Trump's town hall. If anybody did, please let me know what you thought of it. I don't care about, not that I don't care about what he has to say, but I'm just kind of like, that just sounds like a lot of screaming.
Yeah.
A lot of yelling and screaming. I
think like when in watching him run again, like in watching this whole thing happen again, you realize like how entertaining, or I remember how entertaining we all found it, then is when we didn't think that it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just like that town hall reminded me of that, because like for ratings or for like absurd whatever or clips or what's he going to say next, like of course I would watch the Donald Trump town hall.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that we realized like we've seen it in action for 4 years, so it's just like not okay anymore.
No,
it's not funny. It's not.
It was so lovely to have what is comparatively a boring town hall.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it was like, oh yeah, you're talking about like facts and policy and where you stand on policy and how we're gonna and I appreciated the amount to which he didn't let himself bullshit. Right, like somebody asked him a great question about taxes, and he had in his pocket like a piece of paper with like the tax numbers on it, and so he was like, let me refer to this paper. This is what my plan would do. This is what the current plan is doing. I love that. It's because it's not about the ego of like, oh, he needs a paper to remember. It's like, no, it's a lot of freaking numbers. So he's doing what he needs to do to keep the information as accurate as possible. So I loved that. I definitely felt taken care of by that and secured by that. The other thing I will say, I did secure front perimeter in the past 4 weeks, is I moved to San Diego, guys. Like we didn't even cover that.
We didn't even talk about that. I'm in Paris.
Sasha, you're not in Paris.
I didn't mean to make this about me.
Sasha, where are you? Because you're not in Paris.
That's what that says.
No, Sasha, you're
You can't tell me I'm not in Paris.
I can't, but Google Maps can, and it tells me that you're in Macon, Georgia.
Well, I'm the host and we'll never know.
No, we are pretty certain that you're in Macon, Georgia.
Listen, I'm making my life in 2020 just a Dr. Seuss, the places you'll go book, because I go there in my mind.
So in your mind, you're in Paris, but
souvenirs from the Amazon.
So in your mind, you're in Paris or the Amazon, but really, physically.
Yeah.
You're in Georgia.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high.
Take a look. It's in a book.
The Reading Rainbow. There, see, you've got it now. No, I really, I have spent some time in Georgia with my fam, which has been lovely. Yeah.
Sasha, on that, go ahead. Sorry, to cut you off.
I don't have anything else to say.
That's
podcast, guys.
That's peak 2020 right there. I don't like the rain stick.
I have one.
I know. Sasha, talk to me about your perimeter.
Okay. This is the thing. Yeah, I have a perimeter that has been a bit unsecure lately.
It's a little breached?
Yeah, it got breached. Experienced a breach. And honestly, we've been talking a lot about, you hear a lot about the security of TikTok and the security of some of these social media things, but I just want the ladies especially to know. I will say like maybe the cis heterosexual women that the perimeter is not secure on Hinge. It's not. It's just not.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know. This is what happens, guys. I tell Nick stories like in our preps, like the day before, and it's usually like and then I don't remember what I was talking about. And then he asked me about these embarrassing things online.
Okay. I mean, I remember, Sasha, so I can ask you the specific questions that will get us there.
Why not? Okay, you tee me up.
Okay, Sasha.
What do you remember? I think this is more interesting. What do you remember about my Hinge date?
I want to know about archery.
Excellent.
I want to know about being gaslit during archery and during and after archery.
Okay, so this is the thing. My new rule is like, you really got to pay attention to those red flags, no matter how small they are, because they'll try to sneak them in there. So archery, great first date, had a blast, like thought it was awesome, like really fun. And he's late. He's 20 minutes late. And then, but then what happened when we got there is that he started trying to tell me like how to do it. He started giving me advice about the archery. And I was like, you don't know me and you just got here. I was really mad about it. I was like, there is an instructor. He's telling me enough. Mm-hmm. And I explained this to you, Nick. You got to have the C on the John.
Yeah, she's been doing this pantomime for like, I'd say a good 4 weeks now.
Side note, I'm obsessed. And I think that we should all be out here learning several different skills, survival skills, because we don't know what's coming. And I will tell you, the large white man next to me was very good. And my black behind was not excelling in the way that I think I need to be. So.
Okay.
There was that.
I was like, I'm going to process that. I just want to process that for a second.
So then,
keep going.
I have a great time. I have a fun time. And I've actually talked to some other ladies who've like experienced this before, but like I got, home, I was like, I had a great time. Started thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling like the connection that I would want to, and I'm not like excited to go on a second date. Nothing went wrong, terribly wrong. Nothing, I didn't tell you that he was also late because he was fighting with someone online. And he told me that was a good reason. So that was wrong. He said, I have a good reason I'm late. And I said, what? And he said, I was playing this video game. And I was like, we got to stop there. He was playing a video game and started arguing online with someone. And that was a good reason that he was late. Anyway, cut to, had a great time, fun stuff. And then I said, I had a great time. I think we should be friends. I know that's not what people are looking for, but like, open to stay, in touch. Just wanted to be honest about how I'm feeling, And then the response I got was nothing but basically this person arguing with me that I was making a premature decision, and that the fact that I wanted to be friends probably meant that I actually did have feelings for him and was intending to go out with this, like that was my underlying intention. And so I said, you know what? Oh my God, thank you so much for explaining my feelings to me. I almost let you get away. That's what I said.
So I just want to clarify. So this was somebody who you expressed something to them.
Yeah.
They, instead of listening to what you said, told you what you were feeling.
Yeah, because sometimes women need their feelings explained to them by men.
I want to spend a little time talking about that because it sounds crazy.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy. And yet it happens all the time. I'm sure that I've done it. I'm sure that I've done it at some point.
Have you?
Let me think about it. I don't think I've ever explained somebody's feelings to them, but I feel, what it is? I feel like I've had the impulse where somebody is, I'm trying to think if it's specifically towards women, but where somebody is telling me something and I'm looking for the deeper meaning behind what they're saying. Do you know what I mean? Instead of like I'm hearing what you're saying, but I'm also like putting together the Freudian package in my head of like, okay, well, I also know that you have this background, this thing. So I hear what you're saying to me, but I'm also making assumptions about you based on my, my intellectual prowess, which is non-existent. You know what I mean? So now what I wouldn't say I've gone so far as to tell somebody how they're feeling. That is truly insane. But I will absolutely say that I've been guilty of reading into people's not taking them at the word. And
Yeah.
what is that? What is that? What is that?
I don't know. I think it's like it speaks a lot of conversation. It goes across like, conversations. Like, of course, like in a situation like this, it's just complete gaslighting by like, somebody who's probably, disappointed that they're not getting a second date or whatever. I mean, that sucks. But I think, like if someone knows you really well and they say like, there might become a time where they say, I'm hearing you say this and I hear you say this a lot. And I wonder have you ever considered maybe you, that sort of thing with like a good friend, but you would literally never do that with somebody you just met. Like,
no.
And the question becomes like, what is the narrative that you need to be true about something that's happening?
Yes.
So much so that you are actually not seeing the person in front of you. You're actually not taking them at their word, which again brings me back to those red flags. These are the perimeters that we must secure, ladies. Like really, I realized I've been using red flags as like mile markers, just like zooming past them and just straight ahead. Let's go. And just being like, no, turn around, stop. Actually, that's the end. That's the end. But anyway, that's my perimeter. It is more secure than ever, I think. Who knows? I found this.
Yeah, it sounds pretty secure. It sounds like you've established what the perimeter is and done it. You also, Sasha, and somebody Tracy just brought this up in the comments. You hosted you were one of the hosts of the Ham for Change. How was that?
You like how I brought that comment up? You like how I'm running this board? Okay. So I did host the Ham for Change. It was really, really fun. We raised a lot of money. We're able to use that platform to raise money for a lot of organizations that sort of we didn't really go with like one. I think we did like 9 different organizations all around sort of helping people of color and particularly that support the Black Lives Matter movement and it was awesome. We had a lot of people come and support and a lot of people speak, and I got to hang out with the cast like on Looped Live. Shout out to Looped Live. They were amazing and helped us really like we were able to talk to fans afterwards and raise even more money. We raised a lot of money. I can't remember how much though. More than I've made this and will make.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been dope. Where are we going to next, Nick? I don't even know. I was going to ask you. And I'm very off right now.
No. Listen, Sasha, you're doing great. I wanted to ask you if you've been bloping. I wanted to ask you about the Tony Awards.
Oh!
I wanted to ask you about Real Housewives of Potomac.
Okay, I'm gonna. Yes, I see our guest. She's waiting to come on. And Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm dying. I just started watching this. My sister and I have been binging it, and I don't know what it appeals to something very visceral in me right now. Like there was this one episode where they got into a fight, like surprise, like all the housewives get into a fight, and they had this whole like come to Jesus like meeting or old ladies. So it was just like, this is not how Black women behave. Like you just painted us as like angry Black women, all this stuff. I said, why do you think we're watching this? We're all angry. I'm trying to get through my anger with this show, but I can see how excited our guest is about this. I actually want to loop back around to that because that's like killing me right now.
I just want to say, just to throw it in before we stop it and loop back to it when our wonderful guest gets in. I want everyone to know I thought it was Real Housewives of the Potomac, as in these women of the river were coming, and a completely different spin on an old adage. I was very intrigued and disturbed, happy to find out that they're actually talking about a place.
Yeah, I was like, why are you so confused when I told you about it? And then because I said the Potomac, and I was like, that doesn't sound like they're river women. Like, okay.
Like literally people of the land, people of the sea.
Just like beloved, like coming up out of like, just like beloved women.
Beloved women. But yeah, I want to ask you about that, and we can certainly loop that back when our amazing guest gets in. Also, let's is there anything I would like to thank you, Mike? Yeah, I'd like to watch that as well. I think that would be an excellent show. Can we talk about is there anything you want to say about the Tonys?
I'm confused, but I'm happy about it. I think, I don't know, I feel like everybody's in their corner doing what they can do. And if this feels like something that is going to be beneficial for the industry and for hopefully the artists who are nominated, I think I've always seen or loved the way the Tonys sort of celebrates we're able to come together. I will admit that is really upsetting that, when you're in the theater and everybody's getting ready to perform, it just really is a celebration for the community. So we'll have that. And then I was like, it's a giant commercial for shows to get a lot of ticket revenue and a lot of people excited to come see them. You can't watch the Tonys and buy a ticket to anything, which is depressing. And then it's great for the, people who are recognized, for nominees and for the winners, to get a launch into their career and really get a start into whatever, what do you call it? I don't know. It's like this. That's how it feels when they go.
Yeah. Launching like a platform. Yeah.
Launching pad. That's what I was like, And I'm like, how are they going to do that? But there's still the potential for it. And, if it brings some sunshine and it's another way to celebrate our community all in this way, then I'm here. I'm here for it.
Yeah. The only thing I will say is I hope that all shows that were open at the time of the shutdown, especially the shows that had just come onto the scene, I hope that they are able to be involved in some way.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. And we're gonna see what they do with the opening numbers. We're gonna see what they do with the show in general, because this is gonna be a very different Tony Awards. But I think that the biggest crime would be if people who didn't make the eligibility cut were not involved at all. I think that would actually be a problem.
Yeah,
so I'm yeah. So I'm hoping.
I hadn't thought about that. I hadn't thought about how, and that's kind of exciting to think about what will be different and how they'll incorporate all that stuff. So
yeah, and again, we hope that we trust that they're going to put their best foot forward and represent the industry as best as they can, and all that stuff. And congratulations to all the nominees, everyone who was nominated. Truly, congratulations in a crazy year. I hope that this brings some light into your life, that you worked so hard and get this get this thing.
I think seeing people push through, actually, I think I can fall into just I hate everything that's happening right now, and actually seeing people be like, you know what, no, we're gonna do it, we're gonna figure it out, has produced some really cool things during this time. So
yeah, and that's amazing. And yeah, but I mean, so before our guest comes on, the last thing, maybe we bring our guest on with this.
Okay, I like it.
Because I want to ask you, and I would, there's a gentleman who is in the news right now.
All right, we're gonna go ahead.
Should we bring our guest on?
Yeah. Hello. Please welcome Ifeoma Ike to the Chaos Twins. We're so happy to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here, but see, I'm such an expressive thinker.
Yep.
That when you said that there is a particular gentleman.
Yep.
And I don't know if y'all curse. I've just had a long day.
Please.
Yeah, go ahead for it. Yeah, go for it.
I'm not going to do that because I shared with too many people on my LinkedIn that I'm going to be on this, so I'm going to give you.
You're just not a listener through your head.
There's no shortage of, truckery that's going on right now, but but there is a short list just for this week alone, and I think we're only on Wednesday, that have really surprised me, at least in the melanated community. Now, if it sounds like you're talking about somebody melanated.
Here, I'm just gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up a shot.
Yeah. Do you have any pictures that we can? Do you have any pictures that we?
I just want to have
it's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen him.
Yeah,
I don't want to say seen him like I know him, right?
Right.
No.
But he really looks like a Republican.
I'm out. I'm out.
I'm out. when I heard the statement, I would have understood. I understand now.
That's fair because the way I don't remember fitting in a red turtleneck. Never.
I don't
think all the people that lost their careers because of 50 Cent, because people had a little bit of a tune in their voice, and he come out here with a J. Crew sweater and a Banana Republic blazer. Look at this.
Wow. This gentleman.
Hi, y'all. I'm so glad to be on this.
I'm so dead. I'm so dead.
We've been looking forward to having you on the show for a long time.
Right, but did Sasha? Can we disclose how this was actually not supposed to be the show, but this was the show. Yes. This was the show that was supposed to happen.
Look at God.
Sasha sent me a text, and I have plenty of Sashas. Hi world, hey Broadway world. I don't tap. I don't remember how to sing. I'm okay. Okay, but Sasha sent me a text. And that Sunday, it just sounded so familial that I literally left here, walked to the pharmacy, picked up my birth control, and it wasn't until then that she was like, "Is this still your email?" And I was like, "So this is strange. Not only is it not my email, I actually know whose email this is for." And I was like, "Oh, hi. Can you repeat your name again? Because maybe you're that Sasha." And did my whole apologies, didn't want, her to think I was doing a Rachel Dolezal or anything like that. But then was just Sasha, because that's how y'all, I'm an artist, but a different type of artist. So y'all be y'all love and light people are just but you know what? The universe has brought us together, and you sound like a dope person anyway. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of.
I started Googling you. I was like, wait, where did I meet this person? How did I end up with it? And then I was like, no, you're coming on the show. I don't know how this happened, but you have to be here.
And then I've been waiting to be on here. So I'm so excited to be here. Y'all are definitely tribe. I was really professional because, as you can see, I've got my Black Policy Lab t-shirt. We have a major conference this week. So I was really focused. But then you said Potomac, whether you were talking about Potomac or the Potomac, which is actually funnier than Potomac, I was just like, wow, they really just like that brought my hood out. Y'all can probably hear it. You brought my Trenton out, because there's so much to digest. And there really is a case study and an analysis that I think is.
Can you please give me a brief summary?
So where we're at now, I would just say spoilers, that Kumbaya session that you were talking about. Okay, so as you all probably have heard by now, 2 of the women got into a physical altercation. Now, this is where I feel some kind of way. One of the women is from Jersey. I'm from Jersey. So I have to be careful about how I express my disdain for Sister Monique, who decided that in the midst of being annoyed by Sister Candace, she pulled her hair. Now, I don't know if anybody is seeing the meme that is circulating around right now of the little 3-year-old who is having her birthday party, and right when she's about to blow that candle, it looks like it's her mana decided that she don't have no time for her little sister and blew it out. Let me tell you what that 3-year-old did. There was no physical connection. That 3-year-old snatched her by her head twice. All I'm saying is that sometimes loving people, sometimes the people that you love bring that out in you. Now, that being said, we cannot be condoning physical, we just can't. It's kind of a bad look in public. We can't say, we can't say Black Lives Matter and then, you know what I mean? So I just didn't like the timing of this abuse, because we're all really hard. And, sisters fight. And there was a lot about it that felt very sisterly. It's still not right. But shout out to whatever glue, adhesive was on Candace's head. Because if I ever got pulled like that, you see these braids, let me tell you something. Y'all would own the braids, okay? Own it. literally from the arteries or the capillary that is connected to the way her hair was dragged.
It was bad. It was really bad.
It was really bad. So that like kumbaya session after like 3 days later to like sit and talk about feelings. I felt some kind of way about that.
But I feel some kind of way about so many things that happened on that show. I feel some kind of way about most of the things that happened on that show.
It's real, and that's why I want to get to Mr. Nikki over here, okay? Because whether it was Potomac or though Potomac, if you hear Real Housewives of anything, sir, that thing is beyond like ratchet.
I'm just.
They were the water women. They would be the water women with the Birkins.
You're so
so the fact that he
housewives of like the underworld.
Like, I don't know if he thought they was gonna like plant avocado trees. I don't know what you was waiting for. It is the Real Housewives of fill in the blank. So like,
I have no I have no words. I have no context for what you're describing. It just sounds so intense.
It is intense.
It's very intense.
It's very intense.
It's very intense. Like that
yeah.
was my thing. I was like, I feel intense watching this show. Like I feel moved to physical altercations watching the show. Mm-hmm. So the fact that like one of your situations escalated into an actual altercation, why is everyone acting like they're surprised? Y'all are so aggressive with each other. Like so aggressive.
So aggressive. And words matter.
Tell us your whole life. Will you please tell the people who you are?
I will not tell you that. Right. Now that I showed my whole ass, it's like how do I backtrack? So now people are gonna Google and be like, no, for real, who is she? I thought this was about activism and
no.
So I am a first generation Nigerian American, sometimes policy person, sometimes creative, sometimes just outright disruptor. And I am the founder of a space called Pink Cornrows. It is a social impact and equity firm that really centers Black feminists and how we hold our skills the same way we hold the lessons of just being melanated folks and people connected to indigenous folk. And that's a challenge because I think in many ways the pipeline for most people of color and especially Black people is even if you are Black, you're proud that you're Black, but you're also proud of the achievements that you've like the fact that you've been able to get through this, the Potomac, to get to where you needed to get to. And at times that also means we're carrying the pride of like somebody else's imagination of us and the imagination that this degree makes you more important than grandma who, when everybody said them babies had ADHD, she the only one that can take care of them babies. Now I want to know what grandma doing that Ritalin ain't doing, right? So we recognize that there are parts of us that we only talk about at the cookouts and when we're with people that we're comfortable with that are like nostalgic around our genius. But if you really sit and think about it, it's how we've survived, right? And so Pink Cornrows, which is very different than I'm a founder of a couple other spaces, but I feel like this is the most real, authentic space where our team really challenges ourselves to use our skill in furtherance of advancing fairness and justice for other people. And we focus a lot on the workplace. So while I do not say I do diversity and inclusion, it's not uncommon that I am in some of those spaces, but diversity and inclusion is not enough to talk about pay inequity. It's not enough to talk about hair discrimination. It's not enough to talk about what people call microaggressions. And so we work with partners that are willing to challenge how white dominant culture has impacted their expectations of labor. And because Black folk have a very interesting relationship with labor, it's one of the more challenging, but we think one of the mass movements that needs to be disrupted, especially as we talk about the future of work and who's going to be able to work and what have you. Other than that, we work with really dope artists to make sure that We are also prioritizing joy and seeing how art can also carry messages of equity. So we're kind of all over the place. COVID presented a different type of challenge because we've actually, not surprisingly, been extremely busy. And right now, today's our first day of our actually third annual Black Policy Lab, which brings together, like we said, community to design policies, but also not just legislation, but also community policies, how we engage with each other. So right now, they just wrapped up a session focused on how, when we say all Black Lives Matter, how do we ensure those on the margins are also included, and we're not just hashtagging it. So that includes Black trans lives, but also Black disabled lives, and Black childhood. And that's, I think childhood is always a really interesting conversation. How many of us reflect on the fact that we really didn't have a childhood, that in many ways we were escaping or trying to be prepared for adulthood. And it's not really adulthood. We're just trying to prepare to be not killed. And that is in some ways our existence. So that lab was really focused on how we challenge, how we move beyond the hashtag, and how we really focus on disrupting. So that's what we do. And then on the side, we talk about Potomac shit. You know what I mean? Like that's get people mad on LinkedIn and argue with folks all day. That's what we do. Yeah. So
I wanted to ask you about Black Policy Lab because I so, you know, in prepping for this episode, I went on and, you know, followed the hashtag and looked at it. And when I tell you that I've never felt more inadequate than looking at everybody that you have highlighted on that, I said, because I was like, wow, I'm like, yeah, we're artists, we're actors, you know, we've done some things. And then I look at them like, yeah, but these people are literally changing the world. No, not like you get. There's a grand difference. It was truly like, it was just, I can't, I mean, we were talking about this last night. Truly, if you please go follow this hashtag.
Yeah, I'm trying to put it in the chat, but
yeah, it's not working. It's not going. She got it. She got it.
Just created that Twitter handle, Design Black Policy. So Black spelled BLK. So please follow. But if you go to hashtag Black Policy Lab, this day, like the first half of the day was, you know, and look, y'all, like we're in quarantine, right? We usually do this in person. Everybody is zoomed out. There were 10 million reasons just not to do it this year.
Yeah.
And so our goal was like, look, the team really still wanted to do it. We still enjoy part of it. We believe in multiple disruptive theories of change. So it's not just about having conversation, and it's also not just about having space to manipulate and even trust our people at times with data and things that we've been told is outside of ourselves, when it's like, how can it be outside of us? Because Hippolyta. But anyway. But it's like we believe that the barber, the sex worker, the teacher, the child are all part of like problem solving, right? So my team was like, we're committed to that. It's like, cool, dope, let's do it. We were prepared for about 100 people. We started really pushing out like on Saturday. We're like, if we get 100 people, you know, that'll be great. We're all like exhausted. And we're like just shy of 1,000 people.
Wow.
Registered each session. You can see people coming in and out. It's like over 100 people per session since like early this morning. And it's just like, what is happening? Like this, that was just the half of the day. Then, as if that wasn't enough, you want to talk about changing lives. We got a friend to be a DJ. He spins for iHeartRadio. Shout out to DJ whatever. And he was like, what's the vibe? What do y'all need? And I was like, I don't know. Give us like some nostalgia, some 80s, 90s, you know, whatever. So he did an amazing job. Just when I was supposed to like get ready, that's when I see, actually, I'm not going to blame y'all. It wasn't Potomac that got me off guard. He put on the percolator. The good old Negro spiritual missing chapter of the good book. It's time for the percolator is the full saint's name. You only know it as Saint Percolator. When I tell you that the entire teen chat, which has about 11 people, were like, oh my God, so I got to get this and I got to get that. But then when the percolator came, it's like 9 people like, ooh, like it's just a reverence. And that is what makes the Black politics, right. That's what makes it different. It's like, and there's room for that.
Yeah.
And this is the space for that, right? So I think that's what's been so inspiring about all of these movements and these spaces. And I'm not going to lie to you, sometimes when people ask me to talk about like Ferguson or working with families that are in these high profile or highly visible, racialized, racially violent situations, I'm not going to lie. Some of those spaces that I was in, it wasn't joyful, right? It felt like we had to show up, and it felt like that was your calling. That's what we need to be doing. If we're not fighting for ourselves, we're not doing anything. There's something, if you stay in it, and if you're blessed to still be alive, there has to be something that sustains you. And that's why I say to you all are not just artists. That art is actually the thing that is literally keeping us alive. Yeah. I never even was one of those people that wanted, like, sweated a ticket of Hamilton when it was like on the stage. When I tell you I cried when I saw that shit, and I was like, and he was Black. Right. Why are we not talking about this? Why are we not talking about this the right way? That Black man made America, like, just change everything.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
I love the way you're talking about, like, the way we see ourselves or how we judge ourselves, whether it's a degree or the way a space can be productive, like the way the space can be professional, the way the space can be efficient, and how we have to show up. And I feel like sometimes the way that we have decided that what we subscribe to actually cuts off some of the power of our culture and our people and what drives us, because we've been told that there's no space for that here. To know, like, what a song coming on can do for a whole group. Like, it's a team building exercise, if you will. Like,
do you ever stop and think about the fact that no matter where we were raised, we all have heard of the grits argument, right? Shout out to all the ones that put sugar in it. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with salt. See?
I'm salty over here. I'm so salty. We've had that argument in this space.
Yeah, and sugar. Yeah, I'm not going to do that salt shit. That's fucking disgusting. Get that out of here. Please get the rain stick out of here.
But it's like, does it even matter where you're from? We all like that to me is like, right. It's like, that is actually it. So when you say it's inspiring to see these people in this space, I want people to know that these are individuals that we've had, which one is better, Swedish Fish? There you go, Tracy. Swedish Fish or Sour Patch Kids, or like, have you ever had a syrup sandwich, or like, there's so many things, you cook ramen and actually put vegetables and stuff. Let me tell you about these guys in college and ramen. Ramen was like a cuisine, okay? Ramen was a thing for us to get by, because we were, what do they call them, latchkey kids or whatever? Like, when we're waiting for our mama to come home. But these men, like, when I went to college, I was like, my mom didn't even love me like that. Why is there broccoli and meat in my room? And every chick has dated a dude that can, it's like foo-foo for them, right? Like, it's just, so it's just, but that to me is like how it takes a minute to think about, just like the space you all are creating with the Chaos Twins. I love podcasts. I love hearing people like talk as if nobody's listening to them. It's well, that's why I was in the waiting room, literally didn't know what I was going to walk into. And I was like, they need to put me on this stage, because they're not even talking about this.
NPR. No, there's like, I think talking like no one is listening to us is the perfect way to describe it.
But also, and this is not to get too deep, but it just also occurs to me that talking like no one is listening is what we're fighting for. that freedom to just be yourself,
Yeah.
that freedom to just exist,
To be.
to just be.
The tattoo behind my ear, I got one of the times that I was in Ferguson. Shout out to this local dude. I have a professional tattoo and then I have a community tattoo. Sometimes this one still be itching, but it has such sentimental value, right? Because it has the word "be" in Basquiat's crown. So, you know, it's all right. I'm all right. It's a reminder. But
Oh my God.
the concept of being with no explanation, with no with no pronouns, with no, like, there's something. I had this amazing conversation. I won't say his name, but he's a pretty well-known personality, and we had this discussion around why Black men at times find it so funny to, like, there's something weird, oddly funny about Black trans women that, like, you know, and if you think about when you're a child, it's the thing, you just giggled. You didn't know why you were giggling, right? Like you don't really investigate it either, but there's something that doesn't really like happen as a discussion, even though we have more language to discuss it. And we started getting into this concept of like, quote unquote, queerness. And I was like, you know, I can't wait for the day when every Black person just says that they're queer. And, you know, I don't know about that, shorty. I don't know. I ain't about that stuff. I ain't about that stuff. And I was like, I hear where you're coming from, but you also need to recognize the power or even the threat of what it would mean if we all said that we were queer, right? And that to your point about being, that when you think about what it means to be kidnapped and or enslaved, and the fact that every part of our being, and especially our sexuality, has always been on display, we don't owe them shit about who we are. They can keep on guessing, because queerness really just keeps people guessing. It's the thing that drives people crazy, because they don't know who you're attracted to. They don't know if you're gonna be loyal or not. We got some issues, folks. We got some stuff we got to talk about. We make it seem like it's deep, and we know I don't want him looking at me. That's not really what it is. You don't understand how this person can just be and love, and that people can just love, and that love is more important than a pronoun, or just being how you came into this world is worth, unfortunately, dying for, right? That there are people that die to be. And so, yeah, like I think that the exercise of being, is the biggest threat. And when you have these conversations where you don't have to care about your LinkedIn, and you don't have to care about your next meal or your next job, and you don't care who's gonna, you know, take or mistake your statement and then label you your whole life as being one particular way. I mean, that's how you get the chaos twins, I guess. That's how you know.
That's what this whole space is just like, I don't know anymore. I want to ask you, because I'm sensing this about the work that you do, and this term disruption, and disrupting how we think about things, how we see ourselves in the spaces that we're in, and how we're allowed or how we're perceived to be, you know, how we exist in those spaces. And I was asking you about the arts, and I was like, you know, we talk about arts and activism once we figured out who, you know, each of us was. I was like, well, this is what we do. And you were like, oh, I'm not as much in the art space, but I can talk about creative disruption. But I know that you do have like background and experience with the arts and creatively. And I would love to hear, I think, like, the idea of creativity and radical imagination, and really just like disrupting the world as it is to make it have more space for us, you know, for everyone. I would love to hear you just riff on that.
I have this tattoo on my back. We should all write a book about our first tattoos, because there's some stuff about it that's really stupid. It's a Black Panther, and in the tail of it, it has what translates to the art of making something from nothing, right? Which I do think actually embodies who I am. The reason why it's stupid is I decided to get it written in Italian because I read it in Eat, Pray, Love. And that part just resonated with me. Like the Italian part that I can't pronounce resonated. So it is in the tail of my panther. My Black Panther has
Black Panther, and you're like, where's it coming? Well, I was reading Eat, Pray, Love, and
because I was like, if I'm just gonna disrupt my body, I might as well just put all the shit I like, right?
Not disrupt your body.
So, to your serious point,
I'm obsessed.
To your serious point of disruption, I use everything. I use everything to disrupt. We don't throw nothing away in a Nigerian house. We use everything. Everything. So, in real talk, I really do believe that, like, I'm just really like, I don't know if my master's degree is gonna matter. I don't know when my law degree is gonna matter. I do feel more and more every day that the things that we've convinced ourselves are hobbies or side projects is really what we're supposed to be doing. Wow. I used to get really jealous watching like samurai movies, but like understanding that the art of the samurai is that each person literally stays within like their family skill. And The Last Samurai, which is probably not, it's just awful on so many levels. But I watched it and have watched it multiple times, but I watch it for the simple fact that like, there is something about, even connected to the whole being thing, but being creative, is that like, you don't get beautiful calligraphy if everybody wants to become a tech founder, right? Like you don't get, you know, like different types of sake and rice bowls and what have you, if everybody's trying to be something else. And I think that one of the things that I was really getting exhausted about was like, even in, and I'm still at times like struggle with this, is like, even in the midst of achievement and you have these degrees and you've been in these spaces, it's like, but when does this end? When does this like, when does the part that when I was 4, which is still the part of me that is here as an artist, who drew things out of nothing, right? Like that's where I find the most joy. And so in a lot of ways, I feel like for me, the disruptiveness is, yes, about the marching, is about the policies that improve people's lives. But it's also literally about disrupting like the expectation you either had of yourself or the expectation that society has of you. And so, yes, if and when I walk down the aisle, everybody who thought they knew me is going to see this back with this tail, and this may not even be a panther. Like I looked back at it and I was like, it's a cute cat. It's a cute cat. But it's like, but who cares, right? Like it was a canvas. Your back is a canvas, and just like throw at it. And so I'm literally a real empath. I'm so allergic to bullying. I'm allergic to just meanness, but I'm also allergic to like this perception that like our labor is supposed to be used purely for other people to benefit, with no break in how we just enjoy being ourselves with no judgment. Again, which is why spaces like the Chaos Twins is so genius. But yeah, I grew up, my sister and I, shout out to all the kids that went to all, you know, same-sex schools, because your parents were crazy, went to an all-girls school in Princeton. They found out that we could sing a little bit. They didn't really care about us, but, you know, they would let us sing a little classical. I probably should have been Charlie Brown in my play, but Charlie Brown has to be white, of course. What did they make me? Fucking Pigpen. I was Pigpen.
No.
I was Pigpen, but let me tell you what they also did. They made some original music because I sang better than Charlie Brown. Charlotte. I mean, Charlotte is all right, but Charlotte should have never been Charlie Brown. And then they were like, well, we don't know if you can be Snoopy. Let me tell you something about Snoopy. Snoopy don't even talk. But because Snoopy is a major character in Peanuts, I also couldn't be Snoopy. So Beth ended up being Snoopy. I'm not angry. I'm just telling y'all a story. And so, I just think that even in the world of creativity, I learned at a very young age that like people will try to control your gifting, right? They wanted the song, they wanted the voice, but they didn't want the representation. So they had to create something where I could kind of like fit and be in the ensemble, but not necessarily, you know, be.
Yeah.
I gotta say, this, you know, I'm just straight up. I mean, it's just so, number one, to just be able to sit back and listen to no, I'm being straight up, just like, you know, so you know, when we have guests on the show, there's so many people who, you know, it's a conversation and we engage them, and but one of my joys of this show is whenever we have a Black woman on the show, B, whenever we have a Black woman and she takes up the space.
Yeah.
And it is just such, it is true, and I mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Just to watch you just own this space is such a joy. It is such a joy, and for you to speak your truth so plainly is such a joy. And I mean, yeah, no, we got to have.
I'm gonna deny all this shit tomorrow on my twin keeper. So it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's safe. It's safe for today.
Yeah, no, it's safe. But we gotta have a part 2. We gotta get you back.
Yeah.
But I wanted to. This is because you are both an artist and an activist, and you truly embody both these worlds. You know, this is the kind of the perfect person to. Sasha, I was thinking of doing our 10 questions.
I think so. Yeah, I know if it's 5 o'clock, she's got a heart out.
She's got a heart out.
Really changing.
Yeah. How long does the question? Can I get through like 2 questions?
You can. Here's the thing. Yeah. You can do, like, these questions are so fast.
Let's go.
Answer them off the cuff. Okay, so these are the 10 questions.
Let's go. Let's do this.
All right, so here's the 10 questions. Number 1, what is your favorite word? Don't even think about it. What is it?
Damn.
What is your least favorite word?
Trump.
What turns you on?
Dick.
What turns you off?
Trump.
What sound or noise do you love?
What?
What sound or noise do you love?
Water.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Trump. Anything that I would hate, I'm tell you right now. Trump.
What is your favorite curse word?
Trump.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Ooh. OBGYN.
Whew, let's go. What profession would you not like to attempt?
Trump. Is that it?
Nope. One more. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Fuck Trump. No lie. Like, do you even see me smiling? Fuck Trump in the Potomac. Okay. It's been real, guys. I have to hop off.
Get out of here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. God. Oh my God. All right. We're bringing her back. We got to bring her back at some point because that's too good.
I'm so dead.
That was just good for us, for the soul.
Y'all, you have to follow Ife. Yes, Tracy, I threw this up, but Ife works. She's doing just incredible work. And I mean, you can see she like just rattled off a few of the things that she's founded and is doing. And I think she's an incredible person. And Nick and I talked about this. We were like, you know, I appreciate what she said about the artists and about how important that is right now. But I tell you, like, for me, and I think for Nick too, we love when we can just throw some light and some love to someone who's just out here really doing it.
Really doing it. And that's exactly what she's doing. Sasha, I also want to give you a round of applause for your commandeering of the StreamYard today. You did it. You landed it. You landed it. I think we're doing a week between. Are we back to
a week between? You know, cool. Who knows? It's chaos, but we'll definitely be back in 2 weeks. But you know, the world is on fire, so follow us on Twitter and on Instagram, and we'll let you know where we are.
where we are in the world. But Sasha, take care. So everyone, take care of yourselves. Please stay safe out there, and we will see you. We'll see you when we see you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Okay, I have to end it now.
End it. Yeah, you got to end it. Do you know how to do that? There's an end broadcast button.